Okay, members, we're just going to give it about another, well, actually, we're at 101. So, Kels, I think, and Caroline, should we go ahead and get started today?
I think so.
Super duper. So, members, thank you for joining us today. In our normal routine, hi, members.
Hi.
You've got Sarah
And Kelsey.
And we are back again today in a slightly different circumstance. We are here today to talk to you about our Gait-to-Gate program that we launch each November on November the 1st. So we have a special guest with us today. We're going to walk through the logistics of this year. And then, of course, at the end of the presentation, we will take questions. So if you want to chat those into us with the chat feature, that would be great. And certainly we look forward to being able to answer everybody's questions along the way. So
yeah,
let's go ahead and get started. Kels, what do you say?
Yeah, so before we go through the overview, should we do a quick introduction to everybody?
We should.
Okay, well, I'll kick it off. My name is Kelsey Cooper, and I am the MTL editor. So I'm the one who sort of builds out those MTL monthlies that you all see, and some of the big emails that we do, like the Gait-to-Gate email or the invite to this event that you got. And I do a lot of things with Sarah to help with the lifestyle and all of the national programming we do for Trilogy.
Yep. And I'm Sarah. I'm the National Director of Lifestyle for Blue Star Resort and Golf. And I have been with the company now for coming up on the 13th year, which is crazy. But I started years ago at Encantera, so I know there's probably some Encantera members on, taking on my new role a few years ago. And I'm really instrumental in setting the tone for your national programming, as well as working with all of our lifestyle team to make sure that we deliver the experience for you as promised by leading a healthier, happier, more fulfilling life. So with that, let's talk a little bit about today's overview, Kels.
Okay, sounds good. So first, we're going to go through what Gait-to-Gate is for those of you who might be new to Trilogy or have never spent a November with us. We're going to talk about what the program is. We're going to talk about what's different for 2023, how it works in general, our goal for the year, and then we're going to turn it over to Caroline, who is also on the call with us from St. Jude, and she'll give a little intro to herself then, and then give you a quick overview of how your donations help St. Jude.
Absolutely. So we're going to kick it off with our next slide. So what is Gait-to-Gate? Many of you have probably, as Kelsey alluded to, have spent Novembers with us, but some of you may be new to Gait-to-Gate. So this program started in 2017. And the genesis behind it and why we felt it was important is we all know that as we creep into the holiday season, we may abandon some of our normal routines. We may enjoy a few more calories than we normally do. We're around friends and family, and we know how everything seems to be centered around the kitchen these days. So we try to get people out every year from November the 1st to November the 30th and really put a nice step forward, whether it's walking in your community, whether it's going over and meeting new neighbors, whatever that looks like to you. We do this every year, and every year it just builds more and more momentum. So this year, things are going to be slightly different. So last year, we went and raised $41,000. Thank you, members. It was our first, I love it. It was our first year being in partnership with St. Jude. And honestly, the way this really culminated was our team talked about, as the lifestyle team across the Trilogy brand, spent some time talking about all the philanthropic work that our members do across every community, whether it is donating your time to shelters, whether it's donating food normally during the months of November and December for your local food banks, whether it's going out and volunteering in your local community throughout the year. So the lifestyle team really said last year, Sarah, let's think about this and reposition it slightly differently. We know our members love to participate. We've always made it semi-competitive. So let's maybe just set the entry fee at $10, and let's see how many people that we can get to help raise money for such a great, great cause. And I'm not going to steal Caroline's thunder, but this is a fabulous, fabulous fundraising event that we do every year. And with all of your help, we raised over $41,000 last year. So that's really, really great for our first year out.
Yeah. So what's different for 2023 from 2022 and in years past? So firstly, we're going to bring back some thank you gifts. For those of you who have participated in Gait-to-Gate before, you know that we have loved some t-shirts in recent years. We've also done hats and beanies and other stuff. And last year we sort of toned it down just a little bit so we could kind of let our new collaboration with St. Jude shine. But this year we are bringing back the thank you gifts. So you'll be able to have a choice of one gift that are specific to your communities, and your lifestyle team is going to be communicating with you of when and how you'll pick up those gifts. But the gifts are coming back. And then, as Sarah mentioned, this really started as a step-based walking challenge. And again, last year, we sort of decided to try out something different.
Different format.
You know, we were still walking in the community, we were hosting walks, but we didn't do any step counting. And so we heard a lot of member feedback that you missed the step counting. So we are bringing step counting back for 2023. But it is going to be bigger and better than ever because we are going to be donating 10 cents per mile up to $5,000 to St. Jude from Blue Star. So you'll essentially be tracking your steps in order to help us make a bigger and bigger donation that is going to go to St. Jude. It's not going to be as competitive as it may have been in the past. We're not going to be awarding any prizes to top steppers. It really is just something that you can set a goal for yourself for the whole month, and just knowing that your steps are going to go towards a really good cause.
Yeah, I think it's great. And so how it works. Well, next week, Kelsey will be sending out full details for our membership and how they have a specific link for their specific community on registering and making that minimum donation of $10. Now, one of the things, and again, not to steal anybody's thunder, but we do accept donations for St. Jude over $10. So we did find a lot of our members, again, this was a very touching fundraising drive last year. And a lot of our members, you know, they donated maybe $25, $30, $40, $50, $100 or more. So probably one of the reasons is because this is the St. Jude has been around for so many years and has touched so many lives. And again, has such a tremendous story that when we are donating to them, it's nice to know that we are helping others. So members will be able to make a minimum of a $10 donation. As Kelsey said, you will, by registering and making a donation, one of the things that we love automatically is that you'll get an email from St. Jude that recognizes your donation as a tax-deductible contribution on your taxes. So that's a really big one.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you get a choice of a gift. As Kelsey alluded to, there'll be 3 or 4 or maybe 2 to 3 actually is better of gifts that you'll be able to select from. They are in limited quantities. So once you are alerted by your lifestyle team that the gifts have arrived, you'll want to come up to the club, make your selection. And of course, your $10 donation gives you the opportunity to walk in both our opening walks on November the 1st or our closing walks on the 30th of November. Our Blue Star team at the club does a really nice job of providing you some light refreshments with that. So again, remember, with that $10 donation, everything that I've spoken about so far is included. And then you'll also have access to a step counting app, hard to say, that we'll be using this year, where we can track and see how you're doing. Again, non-competitive, but that will help us honor the donation commitment that we have already made to St. Jude on behalf of Blue Star.
Yeah.
Ooh, but what happens if I donate $100, you might ask? Again, something new this year is if you donate $100 or more, St. Jude, and Caroline will explain this, will actually, you're a member of what we call the 100 Club. And with that, you will also get an honorary donation from St. Jude, which is really, really great. So thank you, Caroline, and the team at St. Jude for stepping up to do that for us.
Yeah. So once you are registered, as Sarah mentioned, we'll be sending out an email next week that has all of the details, all of the links you need to make your donation, which will be directly to St. Jude. So that really does act as your registration for the program. So you'll go in, you'll make that at least $10 donation. And then, like we said, your club team will be reaching out with when you can pick up those thank you gifts. And then you'll also be invited to that step tracking app. We are using a new system this year. So we've done a little bit of testing and it seems quite easy to join and navigate. And we'll have a whole how-to document set up for all of you so that it's pretty easy to join and you'll go directly into the Gait-to-Gate challenge. So should be pretty easy. And then really what you'll want to do is go on to MTL, go to the events calendar, and then register for the opening walks. I'm not sure if the closing walks are quite posted yet, but if they are, feel free to register for that as well. And then the team will also likely be hosting weekly walks to get those steps in. So be sure to stay on the lookout for those on the MTL calendar, as those will be super, super exciting.
And some of the team, as we've already seen, has put out those weekly walks that have a little bit of a twist to them this year. Like some of our teams have one of their walks being a glow walk, which means you're going to be taking that walk at sunset, maybe not first thing in the morning. So check in with your lifestyle team and your MTL calendar to see what we've got up our sleeves for you this year.
And then what's our goal for this year?
Ooh, great question. Well, this year we decided that we would, as our agreement with St. Jude, we're setting our goal at $30,000. Quite honestly, Caroline, I have to be honest with you, we're going to succumb and we will overcome that goal. Yeah. Trust me. But it's always good to raise the bar just a little bit more every year to see how we're doing. So we look forward to our goal being $30,000, but we certainly intend to raise a lot more than that.
For sure. And then before we turn it over to Caroline, we have just a couple of frequently asked questions, things that, we know members are going to think about. So the first one is there a deadline to register? And the answer is no.
Correct.
As we mentioned, though, those gifts are while supplies last. So while we think we did a pretty good job of ordering enough for the participants, there may not be. But you know what? It'll still be a great time anyways. But either way, needless to say, it's best to sign up early, but we are going to take registrations throughout the whole month because no matter what, it's going to go to St. Jude and help them out. So that's really the goal of the whole thing.
But what happens if I don't want to track my steps?
Well, if you don't want to track your steps, you do not have to. Again, by tracking your steps, that will help us kind of track how many miles have been walked throughout the month. And then, as we've said, Blue Star is going to make a 10-cent per mile donation up to $5,000 for every mile walked by members. So that is going to be really helpful towards us hitting that goal as well. And then, like I said, we used to be a little bit more competitive than we are probably going to be this year. So there will not be prizes for top steppers or the person who has walked the most throughout the entire month. It really is to just help raise more money for St. Jude.
And awareness.
And really, if you want to use this to make your own personal step goal for the month and track it in that way, that is awesome, amazing. We definitely encourage that. But the goal is really to step for St. Jude.
Absolutely. And before we move forward, Kelsey, the other thing that happens is a lot of times family members want to make a donation as well. And we certainly encourage that. As well as I just want to give a shout out to Tim Steckback with Blue Star Resort and Golf. The 10 cents per mile step challenge actually came from him. So special shout out to Tim for being such a collaborator with us in such an important project. And each year, again, we just perfected a little bit more and more. So thanks again, Tim. We appreciate you.
All right. And now we're going to turn it over to Caroline.
Hi, everyone. Happy Friday. I wish I could see everyone's wonderful faces, but I am very grateful to all of you for joining us because I know it's a Friday afternoon. My name is Caroline Kobler. I am the Senior Advisor for Area Development with our office that is based in Phoenix, and very excited to be here today talking to you guys about the mission of St. Jude. And I also just want to take a moment to just say thank you all. Thank you to those who participated in last year's challenge. And we are just so excited to work with Trilogy again this year. You guys have been an amazing supporter of St. Jude, and we are very, very grateful. So with that, I am going to jump into a little bit more about our mission. And I think I have control here, so I'm going to try and page through. Oh, look at that. All right, so most of you are probably familiar with St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. What you may not know is our actual mission, which is to advance cures and means of prevention for pediatric catastrophic diseases through research and treatment. Our purpose is to find cures and save children, and I think pretty much anyone you talk to who works for St. Jude will say the same thing, and we all will not stop towards this goal until we're all out of a job. That's our goal. Most people would not say that, but at our hospital, that's how we feel. All right, so just want to give you guys a little bit of a backstory on how St. Jude Children's Research Hospital came to be. I think many people are familiar, but some are not. In the 1950s, there was a struggling entertainer named Danny Thomas. Many of you are probably familiar with him. He was having a hard time booking work, booking jobs. He was about to be a new father. He was also very Catholic. So he decided to go to church and make a prayer to St. Jude Thaddeus, which is the patron saint of lost causes. And basically, Danny's prayer was, if you show me the way in this life, I will build you a shrine. Well, fast forward a few years later, and Danny Thomas became quite famous. He was booking comedy shows. He was performing all over Los Angeles, Las Vegas, all over the country. And eventually he actually ended up with his own TV show. And true to his word, he did follow through and he decided to build that shrine, which was St. Jude Children's Research Hospital based in Memphis, Tennessee. He opened the doors to St. Jude in 1962. And since 1962, the treatments that have been developed at St. Jude have helped to push the overall childhood cancer survival rate from a mere 20% to over 80%, which is where it stands today. And like I said before, we will not stop until no child dies from cancer and we're at 100% survival rate. We're getting close, but we're not quite there yet. And another fact about St. Jude, and one that many people may not know, is that regardless of race, religion, creed, or insurance status, families that have been accepted into St. Jude for treatment never receive a bill for treatment, travel, housing, or food during their time with St. Jude, which is a huge deal. I don't think a lot of hospitals can say that in this country, so it's pretty incredible that we're able to do that sort of coverage for these families so that they can focus on their child's treatment and not have to worry about anything else during that time. Another fact that is maybe not as well known about St. Jude, and a lot of people will ask us, especially, here on the West Coast, they're like, why are you talking about this hospital in Memphis? And what does this have to do with me? Why would we fundraise for this hospital? And that's a really great question. St. Jude is a leading research and treatment hospital for childhood cancers and rare diseases. We have some of the top minds and top researchers, top doctors in the entire world. I have been very fortunate to listen to these people speak on panels, and the progress and the cutting edge things that they are doing is absolutely incredible. And not only that, but they don't just keep it within St. Jude's walls. They share it out everywhere. So children's hospitals across the country, across the globe. I can say from personal experience right here in Phoenix, I know that they share with Phoenix Children's. I have 2 colleagues in my office who have children who are former St. Jude patients and have obviously been very impacted by our research and our work. So just wanted to make sure everyone is aware of that. Now I'd love to show you guys a short video of one of our St. Jude patients named Jace. And I think these videos are always really impactful just so that you can see our work and our impact firsthand.
Caroline, it looks like there's a couple of folks not being able to see the video.
Yeah, I see that.
Here, let me try on my end. Sorry, everyone.
Okay.
We're doing a dual presenter mode.
Yeah, sorry,
so
guys.
we're kind of working through it together. So let's try this out.
I'll
and
let
if
you
someone
take
could,
over and see if it works for you.
okay.
Yeah.
If someone could just chat if you do see it, please let us know. Okay, the video's done on our end. I know a couple of people, it looks like we're able to start playing it on their end. So we'll give it a couple of seconds, but apologies. This is the first time we've done a webinar with Microsoft Teams. So I'm thinking maybe Caroline, if you could share maybe the direct link to this video with us, we'll make sure that we post it on MTL in case others didn't see it or you didn't have a chance to see sort of the full thing. So you'll be able to, and we'll give you the option to do that. So we'll share the link.
And you know, Caroline, one thing I've got to say is that you guys do a fabulous job with really illustrating your mission, which the intention is probably not to get us to cry and bawl and need Kleenex, but I can't make it through any of these without realizing how devastated the families must be when they receive information about their child like this, and they just, who knows how to deal with it. But I tell you what, you guys tell the story beautifully. So thank you for all that work.
Of course. And yeah, one of my favorite parts of my job is sharing our mission and getting to see these stories, meet these patients. But I mean, I'm randomly finding myself crying at 9 a.m. on a Monday in a board meeting. So it's, that's not usually the intention, but it's part of the emotion, and just can't imagine what these families go through. So, we're able to highlight that and share that with other folks. Can everyone see my how your donations help screen? I just want to make sure we can all see that. Can you guys see that on your end,
yes.
Kelsey and Sarah? Okay, perfect. Awesome. Well, I'm going to go ahead and continue forward. And again, I'll share out that link. I apologize for the technical difficulties. I also have not done a webinar on Teams, so this is fun and a learning experience.
Yep.
Yes, of course, always. So I think one of the things that I also feel is very important to share with our supporters and our donors is kind of a breakdown of how your donations actually help. I know when people donate to nonprofits, they want to know, where is my money going? What am I funding? What's happening? So we love to share out these little blurbs of just where dollars can go in very specific circumstances. And I always say, I've been fundraising for a long time, and I always say, no matter what the amount of the dollar is, the dollar amount, it's important and it makes an impact. And I think this slide really highlights that. As you can see, at $3, at $5, at $7, those do make a difference. They can get a patient a doll. They can provide snack bags for a patient family while their child is getting chemotherapy. They can provide masks for, pediatric isolation. So there are so many ways that you can help, and there are so many things that money can go towards funding. So yeah, just wanted to share that little slide with you guys. And then going on to the fun stuff, as the ladies mentioned earlier, we are going to have a special St. Jude branded gift for anyone who donates or raises more than $100 during the Gait-to-Gate campaign. And that's the 100 Club. So St. Jude did not do this for this one last year, so we're very excited to gift you guys with some St. Jude swag. That will be mailed out at the end of the campaign, end of November, once all of the numbers are in and we know what everyone has donated or raised. So it should probably hit your address, your clubs at probably mid-December, I would say, most likely. And then again, just to talk about the goal, I know Sarah had mentioned earlier, you guys are going for 30,000 this year, which is incredible. You all did 41 last year. So I also feel very confident that we can go above and beyond that. But again, just the impact of last year was amazing. And I can't wait to see what you guys end up doing this year. And then once again, St. Jude is just one hospital, but we are creating a global impact on childhood cancer and those other rare diseases. And we simply cannot do this work without our donors and supporters. It would be impossible. So just want to thank you all again for your participation in the Gait-to-Gate challenge and your time today. So, Paul said the goal should be 50K. We love it, Paul. I love that attitude. But yeah, I'll pass it back to Sarah and Kelsey to wrap up. And again, thank you all so much. I appreciate it.
And Paul, we don't disagree with you either. We believe that we can raise over 50,000 this year. Again, thanks to the generosity of our members and their just desire to pay it forward and help someone else. in today's world, sometimes that may not always seem like it's the easiest thing to do, but it really, really is important. And probably there's a lot of our members out there, either through a family member or an acquaintance who has had an experience with St. Jude. And I think we can't argue with the fact that you guys do great work. And I love the fact that we're sharing this research globally, because we are not the only country that has representation of childhood cancer. So we want to open the floor to questions. And one thing I think we may have forgotten, we had again, we took your feedback from our lifestyle team and our club teams. And one of the things that Kelsey and I discussed with Caroline candidly is that a lot of our members felt they were getting, once they made their donation, they were getting frequent fundraising emails regularly. And we have worked with the fundraising team at St. Jude to try to limit those. Or also, if you would prefer not to receive them, you can unsubscribe. I believe the button is at the bottom.
Yep.
That is your choice. But we are trying to limit those because, again, we just feel like the awareness campaign that they run is so, so important. So members, what kind of questions do we have?
Yeah, please feel free to use the chat. We have that pulled up. So we'll read the questions off. And Paul, we love it. Love that. Tony is great. We love Tony, and I'm sure she will
absolutely
help us hit that goal. So that is awesome.
That is great.
Paul.
And remember, Paul, we can always organize teams by community or whatever we want to do to make it competitive. Again, our goal by not offering competitive prizes at the club level is to really, we really just want to shift the focus to this meaningful cause and allow our generosity to shine, as I like to say.
Yeah, and kind of speaking of that, I know, I believe it was Orlando last year. They did a little bit of a member-led club challenge. So people in the member-led club sort of challenge each other to see how much they could raise. So that's another fun idea. If there's any member-led club leaders out there, that might be something to think about, as that community had a lot of success with that last year. So that's really fun. I don't know, any other questions, anything? Give the chat a moment.
Yeah, absolutely.
If anyone has any questions, scroll up and see if we missed any. Does it look like it? Sign up their dogs.
Heck yeah.
We love our furry friends for sure. But, you know, I believe at most of our walks, your dogs are invited. You'll have to check with your specific community because they're all a little bit different. But we love to see the puppies out walking at the opening and closing walks and the weekly ones as well. Paul, another great question. Can we use swim laps or bike miles for step miles? I believe the app that we'll be using does have some kind of conversion included.
It does.
But it also tracks, like if you have an Apple Watch or a Fitbit, you can connect the app to that wearable device and it'll track your steps sort of based on the activity you do there. So I believe the answer is yes. It's a great question.
And to let members know how easy it is to get onto the app. I am not the most technology aware or savvy individual. I can tell you that. And last night I took a look at the how-to that we had done, and I was able to go through, not only get into the app, but sync with my watch. So I kind of feel like if I can do it, just about anybody can. But also, if you're having a challenge with that, come up and see the team at the club. I'm sure they'd be happy to help you.
Yeah, and then a question from Bob. He asked, can an individual community know how many steps their members have taken? I believe the answer is yes. They will be adding a question for when you register that should let you choose which community you're from. And then I believe we'll be able to do some exports to see how many steps or miles each club has walked. But I will double check on that. And yes, I believe the app is Android. No, I don't believe it is Android accessible. So yes, Char, you should be able to use that if you have an Android device as well.
And I think the other thing that's important, of course, we're going to encourage our members to get registered early because we always find those who get in early, we always watch that ticker to see how we're doing. But now the app will not start tracking your steps for this competition or this tracking and the reimbursement from Blue Star until November the 1st, and it will run through the 30th.
I believe that is correct.
Yes. Super.
Cool. Any other last minute questions?
Caroline will send you a link so that you can be part of our group as well.
I love it. Yeah, I would love to join. It'd be so fun.
All right. Well, if we don't have any other questions, or if you think of a question later, mine and Sarah's email addresses are on MTL, so feel free to find us. Shoot us a note. You can also send an email to feedback@bluestarresorts.com. I'm a little away from my keyboard right now, but I'll include it in the post where we post the recording, so you've got that if you think of any questions. Otherwise, thank you again, everyone, for joining us, and thank you for working with us through some technical difficulties. This will definitely be a learning opportunity for us. But really just thank you for your willingness to listen to all of the awesome things that St. Jude does, and to participate in Gait-to-Gate to really help St. Jude. And I know this is one of our most loved national programs, and I think it's one of our members as well. So yeah, have fun, enjoy it, and just thank you.
Any questions, be sure and send us an email. We will be posting not only the presentation, the link to the video, and also the recording will be posted under a national announcement block that will be up on MTL. I would say probably by Monday. Is that reasonable?
Yep.
Super. So we'll take care of that for you. And again, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. Your lifestyle teams have been through this training as well about what we're doing this year and how we're doing it. So they are well versed already about that, as well as our fitness team. So we look forward to it.
All right. And everyone, watch out for that email with full details next week. It'll be sent to you directly, and it'll also be posted to MTL like everything else. So just keep an eye out there, and we look forward to stepping with you.
Sounds good. Thanks, members. And thank you, Caroline.
Thanks, Caroline.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.